Hello YouTube. So I am working on my website, wordpress.ca, and it's coming along. Got a little bit of work done. What I need to do now is I need to put some social icons in. So I got this navigation bar here, and then what I want is like three little social icons. I just want them, white, floating on top of whatever color. So it's just going to be a transparency, and I think I'm going to use Gimp to do this. Probably going to work out nice and easy. And if what I found some icons actually. This right here is just this image I kind of Googled for, Googled for some flat icons, and I think I can basically take this, cut it into pieces. Probably use everything but the Pinterest and the Twitter. I'll use the plus, the email, the LinkedIn, and the YouTube to kind of post my stuff on here. And yeah, so I'm just going to chop this up and turn it, give it my colors, and then kind of resize them, and then implement these icons into my navigation bar here. Sorry, I'm getting a little dyslexic. So first thing I got to do is I got to inspect this element. So I'm using Google Chrome, and if I just go inspect over my navigation bar, I can basically find that the height of this item, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom here, let me just make this a little bigger so you can see it, is 1140 by 76. 76 is the height. So I don't want my icons to be larger than 76 pixels. And this is a responsive site, so it's going to resize. So at the end of the day, if I resize the thing, that bar doesn't get smaller than 76 unless it goes into mobile mode, in which case it doesn't really matter. So 76 is kind of where it sticks at from what I can see. So that's fine. First thing I want to do is just open a little notepad for myself, and I'm just using whatever text editor. I know my icon height is going to be 76. All right, so that's a note to myself. All right, so away we go. First thing I want to do is I want to open this image with my image editor program. It's Gimp. There it is. Image manipulation program, also known as Gimp. You guys can use Gimp. I highly recommend it. It's a great program. My environment here is just Linux, so it probably looks a little bit different than yours, but once you get into Linux, it's all going to be the same. So here we have our image. The first thing we want to do is get rid of this white. We don't want to see any white. So to do that, you want to go to colors, and color to alpha is grayed out, probably because mode, yes, mode should be RGB in order for you to be able to access that color to alpha option. Color to alpha, there it is. So what this basically does is just takes a color and then just eliminates it, makes it transparent, so it looks like whatever's left is just floating on top of a transparency, which is exactly what we want. So yes, that's fine. Okay, so the white's gone. Now what I want to do here is I want to chop this into pieces because I want to use these four icons: the Google Plus, the email, the LinkedIn, and the YouTube. I don't need the Pinterest and the Twitter at this point. So the best thing to do, I don't know if it's the best thing to do, but certainly a good way. I mean, there's different ways to do stuff with Gimp, but certainly a good way is to put your guides in, and then use the guillotine tool to chop into pieces, and then it creates it'll create 6 different files here, and then we can just rename them and file them as we so choose. So what do we need to do? We need to go to image, guide, new guide. I guess I'll go by percent. This is just going to put some guides in. We want to start with a horizontal guide. You don't necessarily have to, but this is just the way I'm doing it. I'm going to cut the thing in half horizontally. There's the guide, and then we need 2 more vertical guides. Guide, vertical, new guide by percent. Let's say about 33, so 1/3. Oh, I had the orientation on. I'm doing Control Z, and just go guide, new guide by percent. switch my orientation to vertical, go 33, okay. That looks good, could be a little better. I'm gonna do undo, image, guide by percent, to a 34. Yeah, that looks good. So the next one, instead of being a 66, I'm guessing it'll probably be a 65. Let's do image, guides by percent. I'll do about 65, and that looks good right there. That's perfect. All right, so once we get to this point, we can do, I think it's image, transform, and then guillotine, and it's going to chop it up for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. All right. So we'll take everything and we'll just save it with a clear picture, and then we can just manipulate them there afterwards. So it's basically just going to be file, export as, and then we're going to say this will be plus clear. I think it's in the right folder. Export, file, save. No. Cancel. Export. Plus clear.png. That's fine. Cancel. All right, so that works. And so we don't have to save the rest. We got our plus clear, so we can just discard our changes. And then we'll do file, export. This will be YouTube clear. Yeah, I've done this once already, so I'm just kind of doing it again. Export is fine. We don't have to save it. Export. What's this one? This will be mail. You can close it. Might as well just get the Pinterest as well in case I need it later. Then we don't need to save the file. This will be LinkedIn clear. Export. And finally, Twitter. Sorry, this took so long. Twitter. Oh, I can't even spell today. It's horrible. And discard it. Okay. Now, we don't need this guy anymore. Do we want to save this? We can discard it. That's fine. We don't need that. All right. So we got all our icons. Let's just focus on the ones we need. So LinkedIn. Let's do this one. Open with. Okay. First, I probably want to image, do a zealous crop. There we go. Image, we want to scale it. Now, zealous crop, it obviously just tightens it up and takes everything that's not part of the image out of the picture. So any transparencies and stuff. We can scale the image now. We want our height to be 80, and so we want this link to remain. Or what do we say our note was? This is why this is good. Our height, icon height is 76 pixels, right? So we can make our height 76, and our width is going to be 73. That's just fine. Maybe we can make it just a little bit smaller. Let's go 75 just to be on the safe side. Okay, and then we're going to scale that. All right. Now once we've scaled it, we basically want to colorize it. And so if we go colors, because we're going white, we could just do colorize, and then we could just take the hue, saturation, and lightness and pull it all the way up to max. There we go. That's basically our icon. Now file. We export this, I believe. And then instead of being clear, instead of being clear, it's going to be white, LinkedIn white. All right, so that's our icon. I got 4 more to do, and instead of making you suffer through it because you've seen the steps, I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video and do the rest with my friend Emmanuel Labor. I'll be right back. All right, so here we are. I finished it up. I did all the white icons, and I put them all in a folder. So we got our LinkedIn PNG, our mail, our LinkedIn white, our mail white, our plus white, and our YouTube white. So one thing I forgot to do, which I'm going to do right now, is create another set, basically just a duplicate of these, that are going to be a different color, that are basically going to be this turquoise color, so we can kind of emulate this effect of the hover with this kind of a turquoisey color over top. So I am going to do that. I'm going to pause the video, get that done, and be back in a second. All right, figured I'd show you this. It's a bit of a different technique. Here is the turquoise LinkedIn icon after we're done, and I'll show you this with another one here. So we can discard this now. We can go back to our folder, and we got LinkedIn white, black, white, and turquoise, as you can see here. So let's do it with mail here. We can open with Gimp. And then what we're going to do is just go select all, select float. So it basically just takes everything that's floating above the transparency. And then from here, we can call up our bar, our toolbar, and just make sure this color is the right color that we want. I just went back to my color palette and selected it. So I just went to this thing and then selected the color I got. So basically I got it now. We can now go to our brush. Make sure we got a wide enough brush here. I can go to about 40 here. Should be fine. And then once we got that, we can just color it in. There it is. And we can open our layers dialog. It's just Control L and then just anchor it. Once it's anchored, we can export it. And I'll just call it turquoise, male turquoise. Done deal. Just in case you didn't catch that, let's just do it one more time. So male plus, what do you got in? Okay, so let's do it with plus here. Open with Gimp. Okay, so we got it open. I'm going to select all, select float, go to our toolbar, go to our brush, which is already set up, color it in, make sure there's no white spots left, Control L for our layers, anchor this layer, export, plus, there it is. Alright, so we got all our icons resized and colored, and we got the 2 sets. We got the white set and we got the turquoise set. So we're ready to move forward with our icon placement here. Now the next step is to get all this stuff, these 8 icons, the white set and the turquoise set, into our WordPress backend. So we can log into our WordPress dashboard. I'm already logged in. I'm just going to go to media, and then we're going to go add new. And then just bring up our Explorer. You can just drag and drop it from Windows, the same as you can here with what I'm doing. So we're just going to drop these guys in there. I'm just going to get them all in there. Why not? I only need the 2 sets, but whatever. They're small files. Okay. I think that's everything. All right. So I think they're all in there. All right. Let's move forward. Now, what we can do is we can go to our menu, and then we can add some menu icons here. So obviously we're going to add a custom, well, it's not obvious, we're going to add a custom link. So the link text is just going to be an image. Okay, and before we do that, let's go and to our media and then just copy some of the white images. So let's start with LinkedIn. And we just go to our notepad and say this is LinkedIn. Okay, that's fine. That's LinkedIn. Let's find YouTube. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm just copying the URLs onto my little scratch pad here, so I have quick access to them later when I'm editing the menu. So you got YouTube, we got LinkedIn. Did we get email? Not yet, I don't think. There's email, and then we need one more. We need the plus, right? Did I not get white plus? Yeah, I must have not got white plus. I didn't get white plus. Plus white. There we go. Okay, so let's find our plus white. There it is. All right, so those are our links. And now, if we go to our menus, and we can add a custom link, and we can say the text is going to be an image, and it's just straight HTML equals, and you can, for the LinkedIn, you can just basically copy this whole thing right here and put it inside those quotation marks. Add to menu. Oh, URL. Well, we'll just put it in later, but just to test it for now, we'll just link it to Google. So that's a top. Okay, let's see if that worked. No, not sure what I did there, but I did it here. Here it is in the custom link now. And so you see it's a top level item. You got you're gonna have websites, tutorials, about, contact, and then image, custom link, right? So let's see if that works. We've saved the menu. We'll save the menu right now, and then we'll go and see if it appeared on our site. And look at that, it did. And the link works too. Okay. And I think the only thing we have to adjust is this padding here. Now that our icons are in, we can basically take that padding down to like 0 pixels or 1 pixel or something like that, and then that should work. All right, so I took a bit of a different approach with the icons and the hover effect. Instead of using the turquoise for the hover effect, I basically just toggled the background. And so basically this is what I ended up with here with this menu. Um, So you kind of got like a little hover, and then for anything that's a sub menu, like the background will convert to the other color, just like that. And then the same with the social icons that we did. And I'll show you how I did these social icons. So if we go back to our themes, and then we go to our where are we going now? Oh boy. Okay. Appearance menus. There we go. Okay. And so we just entered 4 submenus under connect, one for each of the icons, and then basically what we did was basically just create a custom link, enter the URL. So for example, like LinkedIn / whatever your profile page is, and and then the text, we just basically just put an image tag in there, like so, image src for source equals blah, right? Whatever link, whatever and whatever, right? And you put your thing in there, your URL, and then that's going to point to that image, and we just got our URL from our media files inside our media library, and that's pretty much it. And then once they populated, they kind of landed like this, right? And basically we just had to drag them over just a hair so that they would effectively become subordinate to the connect um, menu item that we've created. Fair, easy enough. And then so we can save that and have a peek, and then we can see what the outcome is there. And then for the CSS for the submenus, let me see if I can find that. It was nav primary. Nav primary submenu A. Here it is. So each one of those things is a link. So basically it's based on this .nav primary, which is a class, which is a .submenu, which is also a class, and it's a link. So it's a link item that is a submenu item, which is part of the .nav primary navigation bar. And so it's got just this regular color here with this border and this color. And then essentially what we're saying is that if there's we're just going to copy this and say if it's hover, then we basically just want to change the background color to that, and that effectively gives us a nice easy way to toggle that image so that when somebody hovers over it, it lights up and animates. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. um, Hope you enjoyed it. you know um, I don't know what to tell you. Glad you stuck with me here. If you like it, do what you got to do. Give it a something or other, social whatever, uh, widget, fan club thing, button, R2D2 it, whatever you got to do. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.